How's my hair? Well, it's going away, my hair. Well, this is my first longer video on Instagram. I thought let's try the experiment to make a longer video, which I see other people doing all the time nowadays. This is my new exhaust, which I just put onto my car. This here is the old exhaust. As you can see, I did not need to wait another week longer because it's really gone. So I've been posting a lot of videos on Instagram and Facebook last few years about this car, which is a saab900. And many people obviously think, well, working on your car, that's a great hobby. And yes, it's a hobby in the sense that I would use the word passion. It's also sometimes not a passion because working on your car can be really frustrating. But then again, it is a hobby. But there's more to it than that. It's also archaeology. At least to me, it's archaeology. Why? Because working on this car is getting to know materials, and especially in contemporary archaeology, it is something we do not do very often yet. But I really think that if you want to get to know materials, if you want to understand them, you have to go and work with them. You really have to go in touch with them, get in touch with them, and that can be frustrating and it can be hard work. I bought this car specifically because I didn't know anything about cars and I wanted to know more. And that's exactly what I did. I started repairing everything myself, from changing the tires to changing the oil, easy stuff, but also changing the clutch, deep electrical repairs. I've seen so many shit the last few years I don't even want to remember. But the end result is that I really got to know how a car works and that I know how car makers think about their car. And I think that's a vital part of contemporary archaeology, to engage materials. But there's also another reason why I think this is an archaeology project, and that is that it's also a community project. I often said a few years ago, I'm not driving a car, I'm not driving a Saab, I'm driving a community. And the only reason why I can get this car running time and time again and again is because there's a very active Saab community who is really taking care of Saabs in the Netherlands and providing each other with spare second-hand used parts, which they will ship to you without any hesitation, very often for very little money. So that's a convenient thing. And actually this car for me became much more than just a car, in the sense that as soon as I started preparing stuff, I needed to contact people all over the Netherlands and see if they got spare parts. So this car became part of a network of people who are all connected in keeping this car and of course other Saabs running. So it became a sort of a community archaeology project. I also did archaeology inside the car. I found some materials which have to do with the previous owners. I actually could track some owners down. I've talked to them. I didn't finish the project. It became too time expensive, so in the end I gave it up. But I had this plan of organizing a party with all the previous owners of this car all together. So this would again reinforce the idea that archaeological material, like this car, is actually at the center of a network and therefore a community. I can talk for an hour about this car. I will not do that. This is just my first attempt to make an Instagram TV movie, but longer video. The only thing I want to say to end is that for me this is actually the final part of a project that lasted for the last 4 years. When I bought this car, it had 430,000 kilometers on the counter. Now it is past 500,000. That was the goal. So the project has officially ended with that. Maybe one day I will do a public publication about it. Would be a nice paper, sort of a sequel on the Ford Transit archaeology project a few years ago. But well, let's see if I can find the time, because I just have 1,000 ideas like this, and there's just too little time to do everything. So that's it.